today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome to the Shop Talk podcast, where we'll discuss everything relating to The Rookie. I am one of your hosts, Jennifer. I'm here with my co-host, Kari.
Hi.
This is our first episode, and we're excited to dive into The Rookie on a deeper level. From characters and episodes to scenes and ships, you'll get to know us and find out what we love about The Rookie. We'll be discussing our first impressions of the characters, partnerships and relationships, the pilot episode, along with why we started watching the show and more. So we'll kind of introduce ourselves a little bit, talk about why we started the show, what we love about it, and then some of our favorite characters. So I started the show because Kari forced me to. Oh, I'm just kidding. I love her. And no, I started the show because she was spamming me with Chenford content. And a few of our friends had found like parallels between another ship we all love on another show and then Chenford. So of course I had to watch it. And, I just love TV. So, but not only have I fallen in love with Chenford, both as a possible ship and two individual characters, but I've come to love the sweet and innocent Jackson West, my queen Nyla Harper, the always badass Angela Lopez, and sassy Sergeant Gray. I mean, he is sassy with Nolan, but he's sassy with everyone. And I live for it. Kari, what about you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's totally true. I mean, I did kind of force you because I was like bugging her the whole entire time. I was like, you have to watch this, you have to watch this, you have to watch this. Because like I started watching it over quarantine last year. It was the only blessing come out of that pandemic, I swear.
Yeah.
And I started watching it because a few people on Twitter were talking about, like Jennifer said earlier, Chenford being similar to a different ship on another show that we both watched. And so I checked it out. I, looked on Twitter, and then I fell down a rabbit hole of like interviews and whatnot. And then, not only did I fall in love with like all the characters, but like the actors too, and they like, do social media so well. So like that just makes it 10 times more fun to kind of see what's out there for them. So
yeah, I agree. They do the social media game probably better than like any other show that I watch.
yeah, at least now on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I hope that it never changes because that I love the show and I love the show's social media game itself, but the actors definitely they kill
the
it.
actors, they interact with fans. It makes it just
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
and
the
like
Twitter war that Eric and Melissa had this past Sunday, it was like this is my entertainment right here. Like,
yeah.
I was here for the Easter stuff, but I was like, I'm sorry, but I gotta keep up with this Twitter war. So
Yeah, well, because it makes it so much more relatable too. Because it's like, oh, these people like the ship or the show that like we're all obsessing over. It's just fun
yeah,
when actors like their work as much as
yeah. When actors
we
ship
do.
their characters.
Yes.
Now, if only we could give them calling them the same ship name that everyone else calls them.
Yeah.
2C versus Chenford. So,
Yeah.
but hopefully it'll happen. I'm
Hopefully.
hoping when the ship becomes canon, they switch over to that name.
Hopefully. Crossing our fingers.
So one of the things that I love about this show is it's not as intense as like other police shows out there. I mean, they have their intense moments. I mean, we saw that in the pilot with the shootout, but there's definitely like some comedy thrown in there and lighthearted moments. So I love not having to be on the edge of my seat every minute of the episode.
Yeah, like I'm laughing like 50-50 with going, oh my gosh, or
Yeah.
like things like that. So
Yeah. And then the representation on the show is like no other. I mean, other shows
perfection.
should take note because from
Yes.
finding out later on that Jackson is gay to having a Latina police officer, an African American rookie TO, and a sergeant, it's not all just white cops, flexing their muscles and like trying to show that they're, the
Right.
best of their job. So it's just refreshing to see.
Right. Well, and there's the whole like with the women, the women are of equal or above in the case of a couple of the TOs, and at the time the captain in season 1 are in those lead roles, which I think is just great. And like even the like Nathan Fillion being Canadian and Melissa O'Neill being Canadian, like it's not like just like US born like white American male
Yeah.
actors. It's like every little thing is like thought out really well. Just a very like eclectic, diverse group of people that work really well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know. Like
great.
before this show, I mean, I had heard of Nathan Fillion from Castle, but I had never heard of Melissa O'Neill, you know,
Nope.
or uh Titus. I like never
I had heard
heard
of
of some of them.
Titus. Yeah, sorry, Eric, I love you now, but I had never heard of you before the show. I'm so sorry. Well, because Titus was on something with Nathan Kress from iCarly, like way, way back. Like I was in like middle school. Like it was like 2008 or something, I swear.
Hold on. I'm gonna go look that up. I know he was on a few episodes of Glee.
Yeah, it was some like gaming. It was like a movie, I feel like, or some kind of.
Was it
I
like
don't
Ready
know.
Player One or something? I don't know.
Kind of, but like not. I don't know. I'm usually right about these things, guys. If you knew me like in real life, you
He
could
was on
ask my
Pretty Little
friend.
Liars, and I watched
How
that.
did I not know
But you know
this?
what? PLL went on for so
Oh
long
my
that
god. How did I not know
honestly,
that? Oh my gosh.
oh my God, Titus was on an episode of Castle too.
Oh, that's fun.
Titus was on Victorious. Game of Your Life. I don't know if that was with Nathan Kress,
Oh,
but it was a
maybe
TV movie.
that sounds
Oh
like
yeah.
it.
Yep, it had
Yes.
Nathan Kress in it. Oh my God, Titus had glasses.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. Yes. Okay. Yes. I am like 13-year-old me is like proud of myself now. Okay.
So we'll have to like go back and do a rewatch of this for the podcast
Oh my gosh.
because
Yes.
I need to watch that movie.
It's so good. Oh my god. It's so
Oh,
good.
I just love finding out what the actors have been in, like besides, you know, the
It's so
current show
good.
that they're on.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then yeah, I mean like we said, we kind of started watching The Rookie because of another show that we watch where there's a similar ship. And we watch other shows like Chicago PD and Law and Order SVU, and like we said, they can get intense, but it's nice to have that like refreshing change of pace. So yeah, it's definitely something different that we're watching, and we're not complaining about it. So some of my favorite characters are I obviously love Chenford and those two characters together as a couple and then separately. But if I have to choose other characters, not if I have to, but I don't just have like one main favorite character. And my like one of my favorites is Nyla Harper. I just love
if you're
her.
listening, Jennifer is like your biggest fan ever.
I really am.
Understandably so.
It's like every
So
week.
lit.
I'm like, this is my weekly appreciation tweet for Nyla Harper.
Like literally, that's what you tweeted. It's so great.
The gif of her at speed dating and she's just like looking stone cold at that guy. That is my favorite gif ever.
Oh my god, she's
like
so great.
I need that gif everywhere. She's just a sass queen and like I stan her. I love her. Protect her at all costs. And Crystal, her undercover like
oh my god, yeah, you're like Titus. Titus is like her biggest like undercover ego, like alter ego fan. Like
I just love her.
Just yes, please.
I just love the scene where she was like in the shop with John and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Mind your business."
Yeah, she's like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine."
I just love her.
It's so great.
I just love her. And then I think my favorite male is Tim. I don't know. I just love his sass. And he's just like he's a character that like takes no shit. So if I had to pick one character though that was my ultimate favorite, it'd be Nyla. Sorry, Lucy and Tim. I still love you, but Nyla, you got my heart, girlfriend.
For sure. No, that's totally, I understand. I mean, like I can't separate Chenford. I just can't. Like if like Jennifer to Makia, like Nyla Harper's character is like me to Melissa O'Neill. I love you. Love your character. Lucy's like my favorite. I mean, favorite guy also is Tim, but if I had to like pick like a fave, 100% top tier, Lucy Chen.
I know picking a favorite character is like someone asking you to pick your favorite child. So like I can't do that. There are some.
If we had kids.
Well, yeah. There there are some shows that I'm definitely like, oh no, like they are my favorite. That is why like I watch the show, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, on this show I can't choose. So
Yeah, I really, because like I love, like I never thought like I just Angela, love Angela. She's so underrated too, and just
yeah,
like oh, and like Gray. Oh my God, Gray is just like Sergeant Gray is like my spirit animal. Like
yeah.
Richard T. Jones, boss.
Carrie is
So good.
Melissa's biggest stan though. Like I am with
I
Nyla Harper. She is Melissa and Lucy's biggest stan. I
I
mean, just go and look at
really
her
am.
Twitter and it's all over. It's written on her timeline. So
It is. I have. Yeah. No, it's fine.
so moving on, we have the episode descriptions in our news section. In like another episode, this will be pushed more forwards, but we just kind of wanted everyone to get to know us a little bit. So we have 2 episode descriptions. One is for 310, and it's premiering actually this upcoming Sunday. It's called Man of Honor. Officers Harper and Nolan respond to a bank robbery in progress and realize the motives of the thief run much deeper than needing just money. Meanwhile, officers Jackson and Chen's first day riding without training officers isn't what they thought it would be on the rookie. So we have that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over 311?
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah. And then so well, not right after that, but the next following week, we got 311, which is New Blood is the title. Says when Professor Fiona Ryan's car window is smashed following a series of mysterious notes, Officer Nolan volunteers to guard her house overnight. Meanwhile, Lucy notices that Tim is being much nicer to his new boot, which is their word for, new recruit, than he was with her, and she does not like it. So looks like we'll see something happen there. I don't know.
I have a feeling that the new boot is a guy, and so
Oh, well,
Tim
for
kind of
sure.
treats him like one of the guys,
It.
and then
I mean,
that's
it just
kind
has
of
to.
yeah, and then that's what makes Lucy realize that the joke that she played on 309 is not a joke.
Which we could have a whole entire episode about that because I'm still breaking down over it 2 days
Honestly, I saw it coming. I saw it coming,
later.
and I'm still hurt
Didn't.
by it.
I
Like,
didn't. The thing is, like, I was so
I'm still hurt.
hopeful.
I knew that it was too good to be true,
So
and I'm
hopeful.
still hurt. Like, my heart hurts.
Yeah.
And Tim was like even more hurt. It's just, I'm not okay from it, okay? My only saving grace is that we get upset on Chicago PD this week, and Lord knows if they're going to be okay. So, it's a rough week for Jennifer over here.
It's fine. We're good. We're good. We'll pull it together.
We have to,
No.
because it's all fictional. So, it's not real. So next we'll kind of go into like our first impressions of the characters and kind of like how they were introduced to us. And we'll just go down the line. There is a lot to talk about. So do you
Really
want to
is.
start off with Nolan?
Sure. So obviously, I mean, if you guys didn't know, obviously Nathan Fillion's character, John Nolan, is the rookie. Like
Yeah.
that's who it's based around. And so he's what is he, like mid-40s?
Yeah.
We find him on starts out in the East Coast. He's in Pennsylvania. And he's kind of having a bad time of it at the moment, because he's gonna go through a divorce. He's gonna go to the bank, get some stuff done. But yeah, at the same time, like I love how he still has like a good sense of good sense of self, and like a
Yeah.
good sense of humor, and like he is a dad, like he's a father on the show, and has a son, and so that is definitely a factor in his uh like character, and like how
Hmm.
he is.
I feel like he definitely takes it into like keeps it in mind when he's out patrolling. I mean, obviously he
Yeah.
should, but he definitely like keeps his son at the forefront of his mind.
Yeah. Hmm. um and then, so like I said, he was going, in the first episode we see him, he's going to the bank, having a normal kind of day. He's he drives a pickup truck. He's kind of, just like wearing casual clothes, very like basic, kind of, like a dad look. Like if you just saw
Yeah.
him, he's a dad. Like he's just an average guy. And then that all kind of changes when stuff happens at the bank, and it gets taken over by these robbers. And then it like that experience is what like makes him want to go, like, well, I guess pick up and move to the West Coast and join the police academy over there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what's wrong with the East Coast police departments, but that's okay. LA's fun.
I
Like,
think maybe he just wanted like a fresh start.
yeah, for
Why
sure.
he had to go all the way to LA though, not totally sure, but
I mean,
he
I
did,
would
so.
totally I would totally trade like weather here for sunshine in
Oh,
California.
same.
So
Same.
I guess if you're going off that, then yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. That is why he, that like that experience of him like being involved in that situation, and he kind of took on that like hero role in that moment of trying to talk down the robbers that didn't. I mean, it was going okay. He was doing an okay job, but if the cops arrived just in time to make the situation all better, and so that kind of I don't know, that was like his his sign that he was wanting to career change, life change, like do it all.
I mean, who knows? He could have been thinking that before, but I think that that moment was him him realizing I want something else. I want something where I can really help people. So, I
Yeah.
mean, he literally didn't he have a gun pointed to his head? Like he
Yeah.
literally had his life on the line. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of, this is all happening in the pilot, if we didn't mention that already. But yeah, so it's like you cut from that scene and they kind of, it jumps kind of right into after he's gone through the academy, and is going into his first day as a rookie on the LAPD. And so that's uh the next kind of environment we see him in. And then the next two characters he interacts with are two training officers in the Mid Wilshire
police
division.
department, yeah.
Yeah. And those are Angela Lopez, portrayed by Alyssa Diaz, and Talia Bishop, who was portrayed by Afton Williamson in season 1. And their characters are chatting just, like it's a normal day, because it is for them, about the upcoming detectives exam. And they trick poor Nolan into running up to the captain's office. And the captain, as we mentioned earlier, which is great that she's a woman figure, and she is Zoe Anderson, who's played by Mercedes Mason, and she is the captain of that division, and she is the one that acknowledges Nolan, but then at the same time also tells him, you don't need to be up here, you should probably go down to roll call.
My favorite part is is when she says, "And you better run."
Oh
Like she
yeah, oh my
stops
god,
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and he's like, oh yep, okay, and then he just
yeah.
takes off. Um,
And he somehow makes it downstairs, changed, and then roll call all within
oh
5
yeah,
minutes.
because he in plain clothes when he first, yeah, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, yeah, he is. Oh
I'm
Jesus.
like that's movie
Oh
magic right there
yeah,
for you.
TV magic, gotta love it. Okay, so speaking of roll call, and then the next person we meet is Sergeant Gray, who, I mean, we talked about earlier, is Richard T. Jones. That's his character. He is obviously the sergeant, but he also does roll call every day. So he's at the front, and Nolan sort of manages to slide in, not unseen, but
Yeah.
he manages to get by. Okay. So yeah. Do you want to talk about like
The training montage, yeah.
yeah,
So
like the
we'll get
training
into
one?
their pairings a little bit later, but we kind of see a training montage where like we get a little bit of interaction between the duos. They're kind of doing like a shop tour, which a shop is what they call like their vehicles.
Yeah.
And Tim and Lucy are just driving down the road. He's kind of talking to Lucy about why she wanted to become a cop. And then all of a sudden he slams on the brakes and like throws her forward, and she just like looks over at him like, serious, what's going on? And he just yells, I've been shot. And does that kind of trick, and wants her to like tell him where they're like what streets they're at so that she can like call it in if he had been shot. And it's just a classic Tim moment, and I
Right.
feel like that's where we really got to see him like find out his personality. I mean, we had
Yeah.
before with Jackson with their little interaction, but it was
Yeah, because he was kind of, I guess we should backtrack a little bit because, like, beforehand, before they went out and were paired up, Tim was very much a kind of an asshole.
yeah.
When he ran into Jackson in the locker room, I think.
Would you classify him as like abrasive or brash?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those are good words. And Tim's lovely bedside manner was, he's gonna make Jackson's life a living hell if he
Yeah.
were to be his training officer.
And
And
poor little
Jackson,
Jackson.
yeah, but he answered it so well though because he was like, it'd be an honor,
Yeah.
sir. My father, who and Jackson's dad is the head of the internal affairs
Mhm.
department. So Jackson's like born and bred for this. Like he's like ready to go, eager to please. So then that kind of shuts Tim up a little bit though, because he's like, oh, okay, I
Yeah.
should probably
Well, and
back
Jackson
off.
was probably like, shit, if he is my TO, like I
Yeah.
can't backsass him right away. Because
Yeah.
at that point they didn't know who their
Yeah.
TOs were. I'm sure when Gray called out, like who was partnered with who, and
Yeah.
Jackson found out he wasn't partnered with him, he probably like just breathed a sigh of relief of like,
Yeah. I
oh
was
thank
just gonna
God.
say, yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of, but I mean, Tim, like when he's in the car, and does his little trick, he's like, where are you? Where are you? Like he's yelling,
Yeah.
screaming, and then, his poor rookie can't figure it out, and he's like, and now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, and then the implied thing is like, and it's your fault. So it's like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, crazy.
And so then do you want to kind of cover the case that they have on day one?
Yeah. So Nolan and Bishop they go on to have a domestic violence incident. There's a guy and a girl that are fighting. Um, and initially, the guy doesn't actually want to disclose that he's the victim in the situation, because, you know, not a lot of people uh, want to disclose, period. But then there's also the stigma of, oh, well, guys can't, get hurt by women, which is, not the case. So that's one case that they're dealing with on day one. Um, then you also have Bradford Tim, his first test, which is unfortunate now because it would be seen as very, very problematic. But um, he kind of doled out some less than lovely advice about these people that had uh, stopped and they were not moving along. And so Tim got out and tried to talk to them. Lucy is his rookie, and she ended up speaking Spanish because she assumed that they didn't understand English. And no, Tim being Tim, everything is a test. So he kind of failed Lucy for seemingly undermining him, even though she was just trying to, smooth things over. And then meanwhile, you got, Nolan and Bishop had that incident earlier. Then they also, their next call on their radio is to go to Hollywood Boulevard. And there's a guy screaming at the top of his lungs about unicorns on top of the hood of his car. And he is obviously not in his right mind. And I mean, one of my favorite lines of that scene, though, is I can handle unicorns, sir. This is what we train for. And that comes from John. And so they end up, it's John, Talia, Tim, and Lucy are on that scene. Lucy and John end up having to chase the unicorn man, and poor John got stuck in the fence. And it's a teachable moment for them in that case. And then, so that's kind of the end of their first day. And then you see at the end of day one, the rookies, Jackson, John, and Lucy all go out together. And no, geez, I can't even talk about it. Do you see what I mean? I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. Okay, so obviously there's something going on between John and Lucy, and it's been going on for a couple months, and it's a secret. And well, okay, besides their age difference, it's obviously a secret because they're both rookies. They're on the job. You can't. It's not a thing that happens. So
then
it's happening then.
on day 2, we meet Isabel, Tim's wife, who is a drug addict and former narcotics officer who he hasn't seen in a year. And they meet her on like a case.
Yeah.
And then he like arrests her drug dealer friend, but they let him go. And she takes Tim's money and like runs.
Mhm.
And then so then you see Tim, you kind of find out why he is the way he is. And Chen is obviously confused and kind of is like has so many questions, as she does. She's very like, I guess you could say intuitive or just very curious.
Yeah.
So and then Chen and Bradford, which every time they're on scene together, I literally just want to call them Chenford. Like that's it. Because it's just easier for me.
Yeah.
I find myself a lot of the time like wanting to call the actors by their character names, which doesn't happen very often. So I don't know, it's weird. But they're first on scene for like a bolo, and then they exchange fire. So that's kind of like the epic scene in the pilot where we are like all on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
And Tim is shot. So Lucy has to radio it in. Poor Lucy on her second day. Her TO is shot.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, what do I do? So Tim makes her get out of the car earlier and then helped her. Like, Tim making her get out of the car earlier helped her with the current situation that they're in.
Yeah.
Because she's able to say, like, oh, we're here. We need an ambulance.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then we had Nolan and Bishop who arrived for backup. And at this point, Nolan and Bishop are kind of on rocky terms. I mean, I would say,
because she didn't want, earlier in the episode, like Talia had, been really, really eager to take the detective's exam. Like that's her path. Like that's what she wants to do. She doesn't want Nolan to be a roadblock on this, journey for her to detective. And so she just kind of wants him to sit there and shut up and just, they'll have a smooth ride otherwise. But obviously Nolan is a talker, so that doesn't go well. So they're already kind of strained. Yeah. And he unfortunately makes the rookie mistake. Ha ha ha. I like to think I'm funny, guys. Sorry. Of
You are
leaving
most
her
of the time.
alone to go help Lucy and I guess an injured Tim, but honestly, since Nolan and Lucy are together, then it's obviously more to like make sure Lucy's okay and whatever.
And then so as Kari said, he leaves Bishop alone. Bishop gets herself into a little conundrum because she basically has to like fight off a guy. And then as he as Nolan walks up on Bradford and Lucy, he asks Tim if he's okay, and Tim's like, "No, I've been shot. Go get him, Boot."
Yeah.
And I just, again, another Tim sassy moment that I'm here for, even though the man is like bleeding out. So
he's great. And so obviously all of them are, they're all taken off, going off running after this guy. And then, well, it cuts over back to Jackson.
To Talia.
Well, right? Yeah, it cuts over. Yeah. Well, it cuts over to Talia, that she's okay and everything. But then eventually it cuts back over to Jackson and Angela because they're, like taking excess fire from the other vehicle that like got away or something like that. And that's where Jackson's big moment happens, where he freezes and he does not actually like empty his gun at all, doesn't even move to make a motion to shoot. And that's when Angela kind of realizes, oh crap, I have a defective rookie, or like there's something not quite right here. She manages to they manage to get that their end sorted out, and then it kind of comes back over to Nolan, who is facing off with their main shooter or suspect, and then he ends up doing his thing, talking the guy down. I like the line that he says of, he got in this job to, help people, not kill them, which is obviously good. But he just says it with so much like conviction. You just like really, really believe that that's like his whole thing is like just to be this like like almost like a martyr for this.
And he's really the only white male cop on the show, and to boot he's in his like 40s. So I mean he's had life experience to where like he knows, I mean, I want to help people. I want to be the best that I can be for others. So I'm glad that that's like his character development, and we've only seen that grow.
Yeah.
So
for sure. So he shoots the suspect in the leg to kind of disarm him, and they go and arrest him. And then Talia's over kind of to the side, like kind of watching, as a training officer, not wanting to, get directly involved to like cause, more like divert attention. But also she sees, Lucy touching Nolan's arm a little bit, like a little more than a friendly, pat. It's like a concerned, like, I can't even say girlfriend. I'm sorry. I can't. I refuse.
I remember watching the first season and I was texting Kara because she had already binged it. And so then I was texting her and I was like, God, I really hope that they break up because I can't see it. It was just so cringeworthy. I was like, I don't even want to finish this season 1. I just want to skip to season 2 because I can't. But luckily it wasn't. I mean, they were in your face with it, but it wasn't like it was every single episode. We saw like domestic. They didn't even have a ship name, and if they did, please don't tell me that.
Okay, I won't.
I don't need to know that ship name.
It's bad. If you guys know, you can tweet Jennifer later and ruin it for her. because I don't want to, because then she won't be able to function the rest of this time.
No,
'Cause
I
it's really
won't.
bad. I'm sorry. It's really
I'll just stick to the cringy relationship. How about that?
bad. Yeah.
But yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
mean, bravo to Nathan and Melissa for like portraying it like they're
oh
top-notch
yeah,
people.
oh yeah. No, there's
Yeah,
nothing
oh my
wrong with
gosh.
the actors like themselves.
Yeah,
It's
but oh,
it's the relationship. I
it's
just can't.
not. Yeah, it's a fling. It's just that's just what it is.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, excuse us while we go off on a tangent. But okay, so they're at the end of day 2 now. Um, and Gray is not happy with Nolan for leaving Talia, you know, in
Yeah.
harm's way. And you know, Gray is like just about ready to like chew him out. Like he is done. He's not, you know, like he's not welcome back. Like he doesn't want him back. As far as Gray is concerned, like Nolan is finished. But then Captain Anderson steps up to the plate again, you know, uh, goes to bat for Nolan and is like, you know, she's the one that accepted him into their division when nobody else wanted him, because she believes that he has, you know, life experience and that like wisdom will come in handy. So obviously, since she's the boss lady, what she says goes. So no
Mhm.
one's saying, and
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah. What she said kind of shut Gray up
Yeah.
because he
Hmm.
doesn't really have a choice. So, and
Yeah.
then at the very end of the episode, we see Talia like approach Lucy in the parking garage, which like based on this last episode, all of the good conversations happen in the parking garage,
They
which is
really do.
a weird place, but
It really is.
I'm oddly here for it. So she essentially says, you know, she knows about Lucy and Nolan's fling. It'll brand her, give her a reputation, so she should break it off. Lucy doesn't, but thank God by the end of season 1, they're done. So
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not too long
yeah.
uh after that. So
So then we kind of wanted to dive a little bit more into each character and just their personality, which the first episode is mostly like revolved around Nolan and like, you know, how
yeah.
he kind of came
Huge.
to be.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's kind of obvious that he talks a lot and like a lot.
Yeah.
Um, almost to the point for me where it's like, dude, can you just be quiet for a minute?
Yeah. Well, even Talia, I think he was like, you know, well, you know, we're partners now, so shouldn't we, you know, like share? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
You know, like she doesn't want to hear it. Like she is okay with, you know, keeping it, you know, a strictly like uh work-based conversation, work-based
Mhm.
relationship, you know, mentorship, whatever the heck you want to call it.
Everyone is sassy with him that I've noticed. So like Talia was, Nyla is,
Yeah.
Gray is. I mean, I don't think we've seen a lot of like Angela and Nolan like themselves. But I would assume
Mm,
they are. Tim kind of
yeah.
was in the undercover episode with
A
Lucy.
little bit. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I think they're just kind of they're like sassy and sarcastic with him. I feel like because he just I don't want to say that he brings it on with all of his questions and like his little
No.
observant thoughts, but I don't know, it fits him. Like I love
Yeah.
seeing he's not my favorite character, but I do like his scenes where he is partnered with someone and they just go back and forth with like their sassy and
Mhm.
sarcasm.
Yeah. Well, because it's a very nice like contrast of him being, I was gonna say so old. I'm sorry, Nathan. I know you just turned 50. That's not old, dude. Not at all. Uh, so sorry. But like he is like older, and yet he's not naive or like gullible, but he just like really, really wants to believe there is so much good
Hmm.
in like the world and like in everyone, and like I don't know if it's like the, you know, he always kind of goes back to like the culture shock of like it's, you know, LA is so different from Pennsylvania, but it's
Yeah.
honestly, it's like just how he's perceiving it and like how he is with people is
Hmm.
so vastly different from how
Like
other
Tim or
people's,
Angela who have been
yeah.
on the force for so long and
Mhm.
seen a
Yeah.
number of things, you
Hmm.
know. Yeah. I don't know. I just, again, he's not my favorite character, but I do like seeing his dynamic play out with everyone.
Yeah, that's really fun.
And yeah, I mean, as we've, I mean, we've kind of hit on it. Nyla said in the most recent episode, he has a way of connecting with people in crisis situations. And I mean, she hit the nail on the head because, he does, when you see them with suspects or criminals, whatever you want to call them, he is the one that's talking them down from the ledge. So, it's
Yeah.
just, it's cool to see him shine in that way.
Yeah. Mhm.
So then we move on to Lucy Chen, and she's just like the most innocent, precious being I think I've probably like ever came across. So I just love her. This is a
Yes,
Lucy
oh my
Chen
God.
stan right here.
Yes.
Um,
It's
so
so good though, because she's a little bit sassy too. Because like in the pilot, she's like,
oh yeah,
poor girl, her car breaks down, and she's like pushing it down the freaking highway or the street or wherever the heck they are in LA. And this guy like comes up and like wants to try to steal her car, and she's like, "You," and like like gives this guy this pointed look of like, "Really, you want to steal my car like this?" Like not hunk of junk because it's it's her baby,
yeah,
as she said in season 3. But it's like this car, she's just pushing it down the freaking street, and this guy like wants to take it. Um, and so she ends up collaring that guy,
yeah,
and comes in. That's her first arrest, before reporting for duty. So
yeah.
that's kind of how she's like the hot shot rookie is her like nickname.
Well, and then
So
the way that she like shows up at the desk, she's like Officer Chen reporting for duty, and then like just smiles, and I'm
yeah,
just
she's
like, I love
so
her.
ready. Yeah, oh my God, she's so
Um,
ready.
the moment where the guy was like, I want to steal your car, that reminded me for like fellow Chicago PD fans of episode 1 in season 1 when Jay and Aaron, I think it was episode 1 or 2, where Jay and Aaron are like walking and the guy's like, I want you to arrest me or whatever. I don't know. I just had like parallels right there with Aaron and Lucy.
Oh yeah, where they're like walking by and that guy
Yeah.
is like, wanting to like, hit on Aaron or like whatever, and Jay's
Yeah.
like not having it. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll probably hear a few like Chicago PD and the Rookie references, and it's mostly because we started the Rookie like after seeing the Chenford parallels to our Chicago PD ship. But we'll try and not make a lot of those because I feel like I don't know.
Just go on my Tumblr if you want more of those. I got like 10,000. It's fine.
Kari's Tumblr was featured in Melissa's
Oh
video on
God.
the Rookie Takeover like 7 times. So we had a whole breakdown about
Oh my
that.
God, I'm like embarrassed. Melissa, I love you. Thank you.
When I say she is Melissa O'Neill's biggest fan, I mean it because I mean she is. Yeah, so we'll try not make a lot of those references, but no promises. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Chicago PD is like a big show. I mean, Dick Wolf like is the executive producer. So if you haven't watched it or haven't heard of it, you might be living under a rock. I'm
Yeah,
not
I was just
totally
gonna
sure.
say, like, are you living under a rock? How do you not know?
I mean, yeah. So then we move into Jackson West, and like I said before, he is the sweet, like he's innocent guy. Um, he's following in the footsteps of his dad. He kind of knows what he'll see on the job, but he's very like green and eager to like get out of the academy and get on the job until that first like big case that they were working on, which we kind of mentioned. He froze up with shooting his gun, which is interesting because you would think having a dad who was on the police force and is now like commander of internal affairs or whatever, he would know. But I mean, that doesn't mean anything because you could be book smart and not be prepared for real world. So we didn't get to meet him in the same way that we got to like meet Lucy and Nolan like outside of the district. We see him like walk into the locker room innocently. He's minding his own business, and then Tim like comes out and scares the crap out of him, and Jackson just stands there like, and you can tell he's phased on the inside, but he doesn't give that exterior off. So I mean, it's their first interaction is really cool. And then, we don't see, like, we just find out a little bit of his history in the first episode where his dad, is on the force, like we've mentioned. He was the star student in the academy. And he even like surpassed his dad's high numbers too, which I think is pretty cool. And then, he's known as like the legacy cop, which it's cool that they have one of those in The Rookie, because I feel like that's not talked about a lot on like first responder shows, is people's like parents or uncles, or it's mostly parents, but like they were on the force before. So after like their first call before the whole shootout, Jackson kind of shows off for Angela and says they could charge the suspects just for stealing the water. And then like they're just talking or whatever, and they hear the shop start shaking, and Jackson's like, are they having sex in our shop? It's the funniest
How did I
thing.
forget about that? Oh my
It's the
god.
funniest thing. And he just says it's so like I don't know if naive is the best word, but he just says it like so I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just hilarious. And then Angela just walks over there. It's just hilarious. And then he kind of like impresses her during their shop tour too. And she says, "You're making my job easier, Boot." Boot is what they call all of the rookies. And
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know about
true.
you, but I just love Tim calling them more.
Well,
Calling them
yeah, I
Boot
was gonna
more
say 'cause
than
he
anything.
does it like the most,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if we got like, you don't actually hear of any of their other previous rookies, like these training officers that they've
No.
had, um, which is obviously, the point is to focus on the current
Yeah.
situation. But it just like makes me think like, oh, okay, that's gonna be Lucy's nickname till like she's, like
Yeah.
done in the job.
And now that they are done, like this last episode showed that they are done. I want
Yeah.
I want Tim to still like slip up and color Boot,
Yeah.
like when they're walking around or something.
Mhm.
So then we have Tim Bradford,
Yeah.
who
Speaking of Tim,
they're
scaring rookies off the job is my specialty. Like that is literally a line that he says.
yeah. And he's like proud of himself for that. And
Yeah,
honestly,
he
I mean,
is.
I don't blame him.
Mhm.
Also, we need to appreciate his arms. I'm sorry, but I'm a Tim Bradford arm
Fit.
stan
Oh
account.
my
Like
god.
that's it.
How
I
does it
just
fit?
I stan his arms.
Oh my god.
And apparently
I can't
Titus
with
Macon
you.
does too.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, if y'all watched that lovely behind
TikTok.
the scenes, or TikTok video, Titus
Yeah.
cut his shirt uh to be the Eric Winter shirt crop, which is like to show off like your biceps, which he has nice biceps, not gonna lie.
He does.
So it's fine.
And when he like is driving, I think that's like my favorite part of them. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop now.
No, but like he's really good with like the body language, like his character. Like
Yes.
he
Yeah.
has like the arms crossed, like his jaw is like always like, kind of like clenched or like just he's
Hmm.
very like his body language is like don't approach, don't approach,
Oh
don't
yeah.
approach. But then you kind of see like he'll open up a little bit on like, during roll call when he's, sitting with Angela and Talia. He's like kind of in sync with them and like has a little bit of a bond and like gets along with them easy enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the rookies go, well, besides his own rookie, he's not exactly the like friendliest
No. And
person.
I wonder if he has that strong exterior. I mean, I would think so because of the whole Isabel thing. Like he's
Probably.
hesitant to let people in because she's
Probably.
burned him so many times.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and they met at the academy,
yeah,
which is like, when he's, like you're the most impressionable at that time.
yeah,
So it's like he has a lot of baggage. Poor
yeah.
Timothy.
Timothy. Oh my god.
I don't even
Well,
know if that's his like. I don't even know if that's his full name. Eric
mean, I
Winter.
would
If you
think
could
so.
confirm that, please. Thank you. Goodbye. That's all.
The fandom would have a heyday if he confirmed his like full name. They definitely would. I'm pretty sure that is his full name, but I mean, we do need some clarification on
I
that.
don't know.
Fans have dubbed him as is Tim the Dummy McDummy or something?
Yes.
I don't know. And that's based off of the
Yeah.
last episode. And like
Yeah.
honestly, I think that's just the funniest
Yeah, I
thing.
think he's like dumb, like Dummy McDummy or Dummy McDum. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
And
just
it's all in good fun, but
yeah.
it's
Oh my gosh, it's so great.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so great.
The rookie fandom has become one of my favorites. Like when it
Oh,
comes
it's so
to
good.
Chenford content and then just like after the show.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, and the actors are so great too. Like they'll just like jump right in on it too. Like
Mhm.
they do not care if we're like, you know, I mean, it's like good fun though, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like
They don't care for it our peak chaoticness and ridiculousness. Like they want to get in on that, if anything.
yeah, it's so good. Oh my God,
And
it's so great.
yeah, I mean, after this last episode, they just keep like baiting us with, you know, you were clowned and stuff. And honestly, I'm still hurt by it. So
It's fine. It's fine. Someone made a meme of Eric and Melissa in like clown
yeah.
wigs and noses and like a bunch of the clown emojis and whatnot around their
Yeah.
faces, which I find absolutely hilarious.
Even the rookie account keeps
So,
like tweeting out that we're clowns. And
yeah,
honestly, it feels a little personal at this point.
it's fair. It's fair. I'm not. It's fine. I think I'm still in a state of like denial or like shock because it's so funny. I like don't even really think that was like a TV show. Like that was just peak comedy. Like I don't even know what the heck that was. It was fantastic, and I could watch that scene like 10,000 times over.
I just love his reaction. I mean, he's just like, wait, what? What did you
so
just
great.
say?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's great. Okay. Before
Back on subject.
sorry. Oh my god.
Back on topic.
Yeah, we have Angela Lopez is the next Tio that we're going to talk about. Tio is training officer. If y'all haven't picked that up already, that's what they call them on the show. At least I think. Yeah. And so but yeah, she's her and Tim are like closer than like Angela and Talia or like Tim and Talia. And she's a little bit like we don't know a lot about her just yet, but she's also not afraid to just like
Say how she feels.
Yeah, like she's so yeah. Oh, she also wants to be a detective, like we mentioned earlier. That was her thing with Talia, you know, like they're both kind of going after that same spot. And so
which is really cool that we see an African American TO and a Latina TO like kind of compete for it, because I feel like if it was a white cop and like a Hispanic cop, I mean it would be like dead giveaway of who's gonna get it.
Right.
And here like you don't totally know like who's gonna actually become detective. It is also just the first episode though, but you know, like where I'm going with it. We find out that she has a little backstory on her too. Like she grew up with 4 brothers in a 2-bedroom house.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's where her strong personality and tough exterior comes from. Like she has to be tough. So, and she kind of learned that from her brother. So, and then I wanted to know, like, just during their first call, again, with the breaking and entering into the like mansion, Angela like walks over to the side of the house because they hear someone else like leaving, and she's just like, "Hi, LA," and then she's cut off because the person like falls, and she just smiles and says, "Great," nods her head and like starts walking towards the suspect. And
I forgot about that too.
That was another moment where I was like, I love her too. Like that's it. Thanks for listening.
You could just end of the podcast right there.
I just love all of the women on the rookie. Nyla, Talia, I wasn't a huge fan of her on the first watch, but I kind of knew that she had ended up leaving anyway, so I didn't want to get too attached to her.
Yeah.
But
Second
on
watch was definitely like you got to like
yeah,
understand more of her
yeah, on the second watch, I was like,
way.
I like her too. And
Yeah.
then I just love all of them.
Yeah.
Nyla, Lucy, Angela, Talia,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
So
Um, yeah, and then speaking of Talia, you know, like I mean, they're all the TOs are kind of a little bit, you know, sassy and sarcastic and like kind of, you know, busting their rookies' chops just a little bit. Like they're having a little fun with it. Talia's really good with that.
yeah,
Um, she's a little bit out of her comfort zone, I think. You know, well, none of the three of them really wanted to get, you know, the oldest rookie who was what did Gray say, born before disco died or something
yeah.
like that. No, you know, no one was really wanting to get Nolan. And so, you know, Talia did obviously, and so she does not sugarcoat things. Like she doesn't hesitate to remind him that, you know, even though he's older, like she is in charge. Like it is, you know, her way or the highway. Like
Mhm.
that is it. Um, you know, I mean, she does care about training, you know, or being a TO. But you know, she's like that. Her laser focus is like want to make detective, like right now. You know, like that's her thing.
And she does let Nolan drive, which is interesting because
Oh yeah,
Bradford and Lopez are the ones that are driving their rookies around.
yeah.
And I don't remember why Nolan said that Bishop lets him drive, but I just find that
I
interesting
think it was like to observe him, or like to have like that kind of like
to
uh
get me used to it, something like that. Because I feel like
yeah, something, yeah.
he
Well, because
explains
then in the
that later
second
in it.
episode, he's like wrecking cars left and right, like the
Yeah,
worst driver in the
and she
history of
probably gave him a
earth.
chance, and then was like,
No.
"This dude took it way too far. I got to take some of the reins back."
Yeah, yeah. And then okay, yeah, we got the last two
Last
characters.
three, because we
Yeah,
have
or
Nyla in
three.
there too.
Oh right, duh. Excuse me, Nakia. I
So
apologize.
then we have Sergeant Wade Gray, and his stance and body language come across as like stern and straight laced, like, I am your sergeant. I don't take any like joking around. If it does happen, I don't want to be there to witness it. And at first we see him like giving crap to Nolan about his age, being a rookie, but like over time he kind of warms up to him, although he still pulls like shit with him. I mean, even into season
Right.
3, he's still like finding ways to mess with him a little bit, and that's the little comedy pieces that I like.
Yeah, totally.
Um, Everyone looks up to Gray, obviously, because he's the sergeant. He kind of, I mean, he watches out for all of them, but I think Jackson definitely looks up to him just because, like, he's kind of the guy that Jackson wants to be in a way. Um, and one of my favorite lines that Gray has to Nolan is, "Are you having fun with your little midlife crisis?" And Nolan's just like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Oh wait, no, I'm here to
Yeah,
work."
like it
So
wasn't. It was a rhetorical
yeah,
question.
and Nolan didn't catch on to that at first.
No.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so
Yeah, and then above Gray, obviously he's a sergeant. And you got Captain Anderson. Is it Zoe or is it Zoe? I mean it's spelled like
I
Zoe.
think it's Zoe. Yeah,
Okay. Um yeah, and so she is the, you know, the top number one, like bad bitch.
she's
Don't
like the
want to
head
mess with
honcho.
her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um she is like, I mean, pretty much fearless. Like that's the best like word. I mean, like that woman has nothing really gets under her skin.
yeah.
But she's also like the not like I don't know if like maternal is the right word, 'cause I don't think that she has kids like on the show or like was in a previous relationship. I don't know.
It wasn't hinted that. No.
Yeah. But she's like the older like friend that you'd like still want to have around. You know, like she's
Yeah,
not like she's
she's
authoritative, but she's
yeah.
not like
She doesn't come across as like scary and like
yeah,
unfriendly. Yeah,
mhm, for sure. Yeah, and so you know, like her, like that district is like her family. Like those people are like
Yeah.
her, you know, kids. And like we said, she's the one that, you know, picked Nolan out to come to their station house, because she felt like he could offer experience that others couldn't because of his age.
Yep.
So,
And then last but not least, we have Miss Nyla Harper, my queen. Even though she wasn't in season 1, she joined in season 2. And rewatching season 1, I wish we had seen her in the beginning. Like, I liked Talia, but after watching Nyla in season 2 and 3, I wish we had seen her in some capacity in season 1, like whether she was undercover or just like another cop that they would like come across, you know, in the district. I don't know. I just wish that we had. And obviously we didn't because Makia had just joined. But we had immediately saw her undercover ego, Crystal, and she's just as badass as Nyla. I mean, like literally to the point of rolling up on a scene and like undressing herself in the car, like to go down to her undergarments. But similar to Talia, she's like a no bullshit kind of woman. She puts up with Nolan and she challenges him, but she also calls him out when she's annoyed with him.
yeah.
And so I just find that very interesting. Like both of his TOs have been like that with him.
Yeah.
And she was like that right off the bat. I mean, it's not like it took her 2 or 3 episodes to kind of get like that with him. And then it's interesting because she's the only cop who at once was a detective and then she like demoted herself down to a cop, but she's the only one really that has kids or a daughter. So she has to like toe the
Yeah.
line between being a great mom and then
Yeah.
also being a cop and
Yeah.
coming
Well,
home
kid
at the
that's
end of the day.
young enough because
Yeah.
Gray's kids almost grown up,
Yeah.
like college age.
Well, and then Nolan has a son. Yeah. But like
Yeah, it seems
her
like-
daughter is like 7 or 8. So she has
Yeah.
to kind of toe the line between like being a great mom and being a cop who comes home at the end of the day. So it's
Mhm.
cool to kind of see how like she portrays that. So
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and then you see her, you know, relationship with her ex-husband. So that's kind of a new like aspect of a character that we
Yeah.
don't regularly see because Nolan was divorced. I suppose we should have mentioned that.
yeah.
We mentioned that at the very beginning. Yeah, he was filing for or got served divorce papers. So he has that in his rearview mirror. She, you know, Nyla in a similar way, you know, has that kind of.
Yeah, they definitely relate to that. They like talk about their kids or like relate to each other with their kids, even though Nolan's is a lot older and he has a son, whereas she has a daughter who's younger.
Yeah.
But I also like that, like Nyla's relationship with her ex, they had an interracial relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. Again, the representation on this show. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I feel like other shows could learn from it.
Really good.
But
Yeah.
also just, you know, I mean, we see like Nyla and her ex are obviously divorced. Nyla like became a cop so that she could have a better relationship with her daughter because her detective work like tarnished that in a way. So
Yeah.
I just love Nyla Harper and I like seeing where she goes. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
now
shout out to Makia for lowering her voice to play Crystal. She said that in an IG live one time that like her voice like normally is like higher pitched, like
yeah.
here, la da da, like because she's so, you know, smiley, happy, go lucky, and then, you know, Crystal's like lower register
Yeah.
boss, like,
Yeah.
you know, tough as nails.
Crystal is like her tweaker undercover alias.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who like took out her bun and just like let her hair go. If I
Great.
haven't said that I love Nyla Harper enough, like I'm here to say it again. I love Nyla Harper. So I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
So now we have the partnerships, and honestly, I'm thankful that they were partnered, that they are partnered the way that they are, because
Yeah.
if it was any other way, I mean, we get hints of, you know, like them changing up their partners here and there.
Yeah. They do have a switch up or two. At
Yeah.
times.
but I'm glad that in the end they go back to their to their original partners, because like we could have seen Lucy and Angela being paired together, but then we probably would have gotten Jackson and Tim, and I don't know. I mean, Tim would have definitely ate him alive. He kind of ate Lucy alive in terms of like, busting her balls. Not, oh my God, I just caught that.
I'm so sorry that I put that in the outline at all. I hate me. I think Jennifer's gonna need a minute. I'll try to keep talking while she's.
No, I just got that. It took me a minute to get it.
But what we're trying to say is that like we did see Tim. I can't look at her right now because if I look at her, I'm gonna start laughing. We did see Tim and Jackson get paired up in the switch up episode, which happens a little bit down the line in season 1. But it just like that dynamic wouldn't have worked because it's very Jackson's like eager to please, and Tim like he just doesn't like appreciate it. Like Tim like needs someone to challenge him, and like Lucy does that, so it just wouldn't have worked. And then I can't say it enough, no Nolan with Tim, no Nolan with
Yeah.
Tim, no Nolan with Tim, no John with Tim, no Bradford with Nolan. Did I say it every other way that I possibly could? I think I did. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
and no. I can't. I can't. I can't.
Oh, Carrie is very she's very serious about the partnerships.
Can't.
I'm
Oh
sorry,
my
I have
God,
to get
I
my
just
mind
can't.
out of the gutter
I
sometimes.
can't. I can't. Like it just. I mean, like we saw them. John and Tim were paired, like Jennifer said earlier, in that undercover.
It was a more recent episode,
Or
season
yeah.
3.
But then they also in season 1, I think it was, they had where they had to kind of babysit Joe McHale's guest star
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And like you could just tell like Tim likes to be in charge, and he doesn't like to take like he doesn't like a lot of questions. He doesn't, like because it's not he's he doesn't like being a babysitter. Like he doesn't like
Yeah.
kind of having someone that like
Re-
not
relies on him.
relies on him. Yeah, but like I don't know. Like I can't really explain
Like
it.
can
Very
hold
well.
their own.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Like yeah. Exactly. Well, that and just if Nolan and Tim would have ever been partnered up for longer than an episode, then obviously like that would have been
Tim would have caught on to Nolan and Lucy in a
yeah.
second. Like it
Yeah.
wouldn't even. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm assuming I don't know because like I'm assuming that he knows like that was done like off screen or whatever, or like off that
But I
he
could also
somehow
see Lucy not saying anything because she
yeah
doesn't want to hear Tim like give her crap about it.
yeah true
And then talking about like partnerships with Nyla involved. We saw Nyla and Lucy paired up in like a season 3 episode, and
not
I need
Nolan.
more of that.
That's her. That was her
Yeah,
name. I love that.
I need more of that. Like I need all of it. I need all of the girl power scenes.
Her, yeah, that like speech that she gives.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like chills,
Yeah.
chills. So good. I think she was like Tim. Like Tim may be a good to, but he doesn't. Like he doesn't know what it's like to teach you how to
Mm-hmm.
like fight like a girl, or like like be like to
Yeah.
be a woman in
Yeah.
the police force, let alone like a a woman from a minority
Yeah.
group, which they both are.
And I
So
can't remember if we've seen Nyla and Jackson together. I don't think so.
I don't think so, which is a darn shame because
Can you imagine
I
how
I
their
mean, I
scenes would be?
can, but like it's only because I've seen like Makia on Titus's like behind the scenes thing,
Yeah.
and they're so great. And Titus, like we said earlier, is like
He's the
rival
king.
Jennifer for like Makia's biggest
He
like
is like
undercover stan.
he might be the biggest behind the scenes king, like
Oh,
the rookie
yes.
has,
Oh,
definitely.
for sure.
Because like,
God bless.
because Eric and Melissa will come on Twitter, and like
Yeah,
you
they're
know
really
like
good
tweets
with
and stuff.
Twitter. Yeah.
But Titus is the one that gives us the TikToks, and the videos, and then he goes live like on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's so good with that.
My favorite TikTok of his, well, obviously, is the mom and dad with Melissa and Eric. But I also love the one where he is talking about the vending machine snacks. So they've like relabeled. He's like, not the Tittles. I
It's so
probably
good.
send Kari that saved to TikTok
So good.
at least once a week.
It's so good.
It's
That's so
it's just
good.
hilarious. I love it.
No,
Um,
I just laugh. It's so great. And like the one he also did the like mom and dad thing with Richard and Nathan, which I
yeah,
find absolutely hilarious because like y'all just gotta go watch it. Like we'll hype up Titus's TikTok all day long.
yeah.
Y'all just gotta go watch it because it's like their faces are so true to character. It absolutely floors me
Gray
every
just
time.
or Richard just like looks at him and he's just
Yeah,
like,
like
"What
he's
are you
so
doing?"
like yeah, like what is happening? And then
Hmm.
Nathan's like, oh, me. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Whereas
so-
in the Melissa and Eric one, Eric's just like, I'm over here, I'm
he's
cool.
like
Just
peace.
throw up
Yeah,
a
he's
peace
so
sign.
chill.
And Melissa's just cute and her little like innocent self.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Excuse
Oh,
me
and
while I go and watch these TikToks for the billionth time.
and while Jennifer does that, apparently, I will shout out their little pod chairs that they have for season 3. It was
Yes.
so fun. Like we said, if you guys go on and watch Titus's TikToks, you'll see more of their literal pods, like their red chairs that they sit in, that are like completely enclosed, like a zip up or some kind of enclosure that they have that allows them to still be like on a set together, but obviously like socially distanced
Mhm.
with the pandemic and whatnot. And I just think it's absolutely like fantastic. Like I don't even know, like it's like fun, but also just like very smart. Like
Yeah.
good job, rookie people in
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Like again, we say other shows take note of these random things that we are saying that they do so well.
Well, I think a lot of the other LA shows must do that because I watched This Is Us and some of their behind the scenes, they have those pods.
Do they?
But like Chicago PD behind the scenes content we haven't seen. Or not Chicago PD, but like the one Chicago shows. We haven't like seen those pods. They
Yeah.
just sit masked up. If you have never watched Titus's TikToks before, his TikTok handle is Mr. Butterfly Alley or Ali. So go and watch shows and then
He does his music under that moniker as well, and his
yeah.
music is like boss too. Like
And when you watch those TikToks, feel free to tweet me and we can fangirl about them. And then like
literally go
spam
tweet
me with
her. She
them.
will she will
Spam
love
me
you
with them.
forever.
Because I will never shut up about them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all that we have. All right. On Tuesday, we'll be discussing episode 310. You can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod _ or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts. You can find us individually on Twitter too. I'm Jay Stark 804.
And I'm Kari Hyman on Twitter.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Go get him, boo.